Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and the clock says 3:33 again? It's quiet, too quiet. The kind of stillness that feels alive, like the air itself is holding its breath. You stare at the glowing numbers. 3:33. Why does it keep happening? Coincidence, or is someone trying to speak to you? What if 3:33 isn't random at all? What if it's a spiritual code, a message from higher realms? And ignoring it could mean missing the most important calling of your life. In the next few minutes, we'll uncover 7 hidden spiritual messages inside this number. Stay until the end, because the last one is the sign most chosen ones overlook, yet it can shift your entire destiny. Now, if your spirit already feels this is for you, like this video, subscribe, not just to follow, but to grow stronger as a chosen one and help keep this message alive in a world that tries to silence it. Type 333 in the comments. This number carries the vibration of divine alignment and awakening. By speaking it, you declare you're ready to see what others can't. All right, let's begin. And I have to warn you, the first message is like a gentle knock at your door, but by the 7th, the door will fling wide open, and what's waiting on the other side can change everything. Number 1, the call to spiritual awakening. You're lying in bed. The night feels endless. You open your eyes, 3:33. It's as if the universe knows the exact moment you'll look. For many chosen ones, 3:33 is the first whisper. Not here to explain everything, just to get your attention. Think of it as a quiet knock on your soul's door, a voice saying, "Wake up. Something is happening, you're meant to see it." This is the first crack in the walls built from routine, old beliefs, and the constant noise telling you who to be. Awakening isn't comfortable. It's stepping into the cold night after warm blankets. Instinct says run back inside. But if you push past that, your senses sharpen. You see more, hear more, feel what others can't. If you've been seeing 3:33, that sharpening has already begun. Why you? Why now? Partly timing, you've reached a moment when the next chapter unlocks only if you awaken. Partly calling, you carry something the world needs, even if you don't fully see it yet. And partly choice, because awakening is an invitation, not a demand. You can dismiss it as coincidence, or you can answer, how? Spend a few minutes in silence each day. No phone, no music. Write down whatever comes, no matter how strange. Patterns will emerge. You'll overhear conversations that answer your thoughts. You'll meet people in perfect timing. And yes, you'll keep seeing the numbers. It's the universe saying, yes, you're listening. Keep going. But awakening without guidance can feel overwhelming, like tuning into 10 radio stations at once. That's why the second message of 3:33 exists. The confirmation you're not alone. Number 2, confirmation you're not alone. When awakening begins, the world feels bigger and emptier, like you've been dropped into an endless ocean with no land in sight. It's thrilling, but also unsettling. You start noticing alignments, repeating patterns, sudden energy shifts when you enter a room. At first, you think it's your imagination, but then 3:33 again, on your phone, on a receipt, on a building you pass every day. This isn't the knock anymore, it's reassurance. Think of it as a letter sent only to you. One that doesn't just tell you you're not alone, it shows you. When you see 3:33, you're in the presence of something beyond what you can touch. Call it angels, guides, the divine current moving through all things. It's a whisper in your day. We're here. We've been here all along. Some feel warmth in the chest. Some feel calm, like a hand on their shoulder. Others feel nothing, but the signs keep coming until they can't be denied. You were never meant to walk this path alone. From the moment you awaken, the spiritual world aligns protection around you. Not because you're weak, but because your mission is worth guarding. Often, confirmation comes through people. Someone says exactly what you needed to hear. You cross paths with a stranger whose eyes carry the same knowing. You dream of someone you've never met, and then meet them, not accidents, arrangements. When you see 333, pause. Say, "I see you," aloud or in your heart. The moment you respond, you're no longer just observing and you're in conversation. And conversation builds relationship. But this presence isn't only here to comfort you. It's here to point you toward the reason you were awakened. That's the third message: alignment with your life's mission. Number 3, alignment with your life's mission. Once you awaken and know you're not alone, the presence begins guiding you somewhere specific. It's subtle, a pull in one direction. A deep peace about one choice, resistance about another. This is 333 working like a compass. Imagine standing in a dense forest. No map. Then a single beam of sunlight lights a path. It doesn't reveal the whole journey, only the next steps. And somehow, that's enough. For many chosen ones, 333 appears in seasons of decision. Stay or go, speak or stay silent, take the risk or play it safe. When you see it in those moments, it's not just a sign, it's an answer. But alignment isn't always comfortable. It can mean leaving behind people, habits, even parts of yourself, and fear will try to hold you in the familiar. 333 says, you're on the right track, but you can't take everything with you. Pay attention to deep, lasting peace versus constant drain. Follow the quiet yes in your spirit. If something shrinks you or pulls you off course, it's not part of the mission. The more you choose alignment, the more 333 confirms it. And the more confirmation you receive, the bolder you become. But once you align, everything not meant for you begins to fall away. Sometimes easily, sometimes as loss, sometimes like the universe ripping the old away so the new can come. That's the fourth message, the invitation to leave the old behind. Number 4, the invitation to leave the old behind. Alignment is beautiful. It feels like the universe itself is opening doors for you. But here's what no one tells you. Before those doors open, some must close. And that's when 333 takes on a different kind of tone. It's no longer just encouragement, it's instruction. Imagine you've been holding on to a thick rope for years. It's frayed, worn, and cutting into your hands, but it's all you've ever known. Then, someone whispers, "Let go." At first, you can't. Your mind says, "If I let go, I'll fall." But what you can't see yet is that the moment you release it, you're not falling, you're flying. This is exactly what leaving the old behind feels like. Jobs, relationships, habits, identities you built to survive, but that are now suffocating you. When 333 shows up in these seasons, it's a sign that something is ready to be released. Not later, not when you feel ready. Now. And here's the truth. Letting go is rarely neat or painless. You might feel like your life is unraveling. You might face moments of deep loneliness. You might wonder if you made a mistake. But this is the part of the journey where faith is forged, because what you release creates space. And that space is exactly where the new, the aligned, the divinely orchestrated can enter. It's like cleaning out a room in your home. At first, it's chaos, boxes everywhere, dust in the air, memories pulling you back. But little by little, the clutter is gone, and what remains is open, bright, ready for something better. Here's a practical way to respond when you see 333 in these moments. Within the next 3 days, remove something from your life that you know deep down doesn't serve you anymore. It could be as simple as deleting old messages that keep you tied to the past, or as big as finally having that conversation you've been avoiding. By taking that step, you're sending a clear signal to the universe. I trust you, I'm ready for what's next. And what's next is nothing short of extraordinary. Because the moment you release, the moment you create that sacred space, a portal opens. A series of events begin to align in ways you couldn't have planned if you tried. This is where the fifth message behind 333 begins to reveal itself. It's the part of the journey where the impossible starts to happen, where coincidences stop being coincidences, and you realize that every step, every choice, every sign was leading you to this exact place. If the fourth message is the moment your hands finally let go of the rope, the fifth is when you look around and realize you've been carried into a completely new reality. Number 5. The portal of synchronicities opening. When you finally let go of what was weighing you down, something shifts. It's not always dramatic at first. Sometimes it starts quietly, like a subtle change in the air. But then, one by one, things begin to fall into place in ways you couldn't have orchestrated if you tried. This is when 333 becomes less of a whisper and more of a trail of breadcrumbs. You think about an old friend, and they call you the next day. You wonder about a new path, and a book or a video falls into your lap that answers your question. You start noticing the same phrases, the same themes, showing up in unrelated places, until it becomes impossible to believe it's just chance. These are synchronicities, moments so aligned they feel like divine choreography. They are proof that you've stepped into a current, and it's carrying you somewhere. Think of it like a hidden door that only appears once you've released the old. You couldn't see it before because your hands were too full, but now that you've made space, the door appears. And when you step through it, you're met with signs, people, and opportunities that fit together like pieces of a puzzle. And here's the incredible part. These synchronicities are not just random blessings. They're instructions. Each one carries a nudge, a piece of direction, a reminder that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. The practical response here is to start documenting them. Keep a synchronicity journal. Write down every coincidence, every unusual alignment. Over time, you'll see a pattern emerging, and that pattern will start revealing the bigger picture of where you're headed. But here's something most people don't realize. When the portal of synchronicities opens, it's also a test. Because once you start seeing the magic, it's easy to get comfortable, to think the signs will keep showing up no matter what you do. But the truth is, the deeper you go, the more the universe will ask of you. The more it will require you to walk by faith, not just by signs. And that's where the sixth message behind 333 comes in. It's the moment the current you've been riding suddenly asks you to jump, without seeing where you'll land. If the fifth message is the doorway into the magical, the sixth is the step into the unknown that tests whether you truly trust the one guiding you. Number 6, the test of faith. By now, you've awakened. You've felt the presence that walks with you. You've started to align with your mission. You've released the old. You've stepped into a flow of synchronicities so perfect it feels like magic. But here's the truth. No one likes to hear. So much of this journey isn't about what you see. It's about what you believe when you see nothing at all. This is where 333 takes on its most challenging role, not as a comfort, not even as a confirmation, but as a question. A question that asks, will you keep walking, even when the signs go quiet? Think of it like crossing a narrow bridge over a deep canyon. At first, you can see the planks beneath your feet, but halfway across, mist starts to rise. The path disappears from sight, and now every step feels like a choice to trust or to turn back. This is the test of faith. It's the moment you're asked to act on what you know in your spirit, without the guarantee of instant results. For some, it looks like taking a job that feels risky but deeply aligned. For others, it's ending a relationship that no longer serves their growth. For many, it's simply choosing to stand firm in their truth, even when it costs them approval, comfort, or certainty. When you see 333 in these moments, it's not a promise that the path will be easy. It's a reminder that the path is worth it, that the unseen is more real than what you can touch. Here's the practical response. Pick one area of your life where you've been hesitating, waiting for a perfect sign. Instead of waiting, move. Take the step. Show the universe that your trust doesn't depend on constant proof. Because the chosen ones who step in faith, they're the ones who find the hidden doors no one else can see. And the ones who hesitate often circle the same mountain for years. And there's a reason this test of faith comes right before the seventh message. Because the final message of 333 isn't just about your current life. It's about your destiny. It's the revelation that ties every other sign together. And it's the one most people miss until it's almost too late. If the sixth message is stepping into the mist, the seventh is what's waiting when the mist clears. Number 7, your destiny calling. This is the one most people overlook, not because it's hidden, but because it feels too big, too heavy, too impossible to believe it's meant for them. But if you've been seeing 333, and you've made it through every stage we've talked about, this final message isn't just a sign, it's an appointment. Picture this. You've been walking through a long, winding corridor. Each door you've passed through has brought you to a different part of yourself. Awakening, guidance, alignment, release, synchronicity, faith. And now, at the very end of this corridor, there's a single door. It's not locked. In fact, the handle is warm in your hand, as if it's been waiting for you. When you turn it, the door swings open, and there's light. Not the kind that blinds you, but the kind that makes you see everything clearly for the first time. This is the moment 333 has been leading you toward. The realization that your life is not random, that your pain wasn't pointless, that your gifts were never meant to stay hidden. The final message of 333 is this: you were chosen for a purpose that only you can fulfill. Not someone like you, not one day when you're ready. You, now. It doesn't matter if you still feel unqualified. It doesn't matter if your past is messy. The very things you think disqualify you are the proof you've been prepared for exactly this. And here's the thing. Destiny doesn't wait forever. It knocks. It leaves signs. It leads you through stages. But at some point, you have to walk through the door and claim it. Practically speaking, this means acting as if your purpose is real. Today. Not waiting for more confirmation. Not asking for someone else's permission. Start the project. Speak the truth. Help the person. Write the book. Build the thing you've been dreaming about. Because the seventh message of 333 is not about what's been done for you. It's about what you're now called to do for others. And here's the part that might stay with you long after this video ends. Once you step into your destiny, the signs don't stop. They shift. They become less about guiding you and more about empowering you to guide others. The first message was the knock, and the second was the hand on your shoulder, and the third was the compass, and the fourth was letting go, and the fifth was the portal, and the sixth was the bridge of faith. Then the seventh is the moment you stop walking toward your calling and start walking in it. And when you do, everything changes. You didn't find this message by accident. You didn't click this video by chance. And you certainly didn't watch all the way through to the end because you had nothing better to do. You've been guided here, step by step, sign by sign. The awakening, the presence, the alignment, the release, the synchronicities, the test of faith, and now the call to your destiny. These aren't just ideas. They're the language of heaven, written in numbers you can't ignore. 333 isn't just a time on a clock. It's a reminder that you are seen, that you are guided, that you are here for a reason. And now, the choice is yours. You can go back to life as it was before this message. Pretend the signs are random. Convince yourself that this was just an interesting video. Or, you can decide that today is the day you step through the door, that you stop waiting for someday and start living like the chosen one you were created to be. Because here's what I know. The moment you act, the moment you speak it out, the energy shifts, and the universe begins to respond in ways you can't yet imagine. So if this word spoke to your spirit, don't just keep it to yourself. Share it with someone you know needs to see it, because you might be the sign they've been praying for. And before you leave, I want you to write something in the comments. If you've watched all the way here, type, "I am ready to live my calling," not just as a statement, but as a declaration. Because the moment you put it into words, You're telling heaven, I've heard you and I'm answering. If you felt a stirring inside you today, if something in this message lit a fire you can't quite explain, don't let it fade. Take one step, any step, toward what you know you're meant to do. And if you want to go deeper, if you want to keep recognizing the signs and unlocking the guidance that's been waiting for you, click the video that's appearing on your screen right now. It's not there by accident. It's the next step in this journey. And remember, you are not here by mistake. You are chosen, and your time is now.